everyone, my name is Nicole Wan, is Nicole, last name Wan. I am a senior here at Grand Canyon University, and I'm majoring in biomedical engineering. I'm also part of the SWE Club here on campus, which is the Society of Women Engineers. And the main goal of that is to really reach out to young women who are interested in the STEM field, but maybe don't know for sure if they want to do it. So this is one of the workshops, it's a metal shop, and we're gonna get more into that later, but here we do various workshop projects, we do outreach events, and also some volunteer events. And some background on why I chose biomedical engineering. Actually, I initially was gonna do athletic training because I really knew I wanted to be part of the medical field. But as I was getting older, I was unsure about that. And then I actually went to a space camp when I was a junior in high school, and that actually helped me to realize I wanted to pursue engineering also. So I kind of put two and two together, and I was like, biomedical engineering would be perfect for me because it will allow me to help others within the medical field and also be able to design up new medical equipment and various things. As a child, I really was into Legos and building, not too much into the dolls. So I knew that building and designing was something that I really wanted to do. Here at GCU, since I've been here, we've been allowed to use the 3D printers here on campus. We were able to design in one of the classes. We designed cars, printed them, and we had to build the gears inside of it and add the wheels to see how it would work around the track. We've built circuits on breadboards. We have a lot of resources here on campus, which is one of the main reasons why I wanted to come here. First semester, we built a robotic hand in one of my classes, which I thought was really cool because that helped me to realize that I wanted to pursue an engineering degree. Some pointers to be since in high school, really into the science and math, I would recommend taking a coding class if they had it. We didn't have it at my high school, but I know nowadays they have more of those to do. Some potential jobs that they have, there's so many different things you can do with an engineering degree. You could work for Disney as the Imagineering. You could work at NASA with the space stuff, SpaceX. Because I didn't personally have a lot of exposure. I didn't get it until I hit college. We did a lot of various C++ and MATLAB, which is various types of coding. A lot of math, we take the calculus and differential equations, a lot of problem solving. It's important. I think critical thinking is a very important one, figuring out how things work, why things work, how it can be fixed in the future and stuff like that. I just took all my basic math classes in high school. You do have to do a placement test, but that's just basic. And then once you hit here, then you'll get into more of the specific math courses as you go along in your career. Sciences, we take biology, you have a lot of chemistry and physics, and that follows you along as you progress. So I'm a senior now, and we still have to refer back and remember the physics stuff that we learned freshman year and all the math from high school and stuff. So I had actually applied early and I got scholarship. So I had committed to GCU, I think, even before my senior year of high school, because we had a representative come out and they were just helping with all the administrative stuff. And then they have a lot of scholarships that they offer through GCU directly, and then also they'll help you reach out to different, there's so many different for diversity, especially because me being diversity, in high school, one of my counselors actually helped me find different scholarships to apply for. So I know you can look online and they have so many different ones. A lot of first generation, they have a lot of first generation scholarships if you're the first to go to college in your family. But I know that sounds a lot of the machines within, just figure out how it connects the computers, because you have within the light rails, you have that has to somehow talk to the whole motor and figure out how it's running and how it stops and it doesn't keep going, and the braking system. So there's a lot that goes within behind the scenes that I think would be really cool to be a part of, and to design a new model maybe perhaps in the future. That's my favorite part. I actually love hands-on learning, and the labs here are very like that. So the professors will have all your equipment out, they'll give you the lab menu, and you work within maybe a partnership or just a group, and you really are allowing to see how things, because it works with lectures, so you can really see how the things you're learning in lecture will work in the real world and how you can apply what you learn to different projects and stuff like that. Yes, I'm actually a part of an internship right now, and it's just kind of it's at a nonprofit, and we're doing we get various medical supplies, either donated from big companies or just from people, and we're able to sort through them. We kind of have to mess with them to see if it still works, if it's able to be sent off to wherever. After I graduate, I would like to pursue a career in pediatrics, specifically like prosthetics for kids, because kids are small, so it can't be the same like what we have for adults. And I know like within for premature babies, they have like this specialized machine that they have to use for them, because they can't have this even for a normal baby. Like if they're premature, they're gonna be a lot smaller, so you're gonna have to really narrow down and make the equipment smaller to help better them in their situations. So something within that would be what I want to do. I know like they have a lot of other different things within biomedical. You could go into like stem cell research, and you could help potentially, find a cure for COVID, find a cure for like a lot of diseases that they don't know what it is yet. So there's a lot of research that you can do within that as well. For engineering, even starting out, you get really high paying, like there's a lot of jobs that'll do high paying. So I think that's another plus to doing engineering. It may be like throughout the years, it's gonna seem like really hard. Like I've gone through it, we've all gone through it. Like you're gonna hit like bumps in the road, but if you just keep pushing through, if it's something you genuinely enjoy, I think it'll be all like worth it in the end. Yeah, so being a woman, I have not, it's been like hard throughout the years in my college. Like a lot of my classes are predominantly males. There's a few, I want to say maybe like 6 or 7 of us in biomedical engineering that are female, but I just want to be able to reach out and like encourage the young girls that it's okay, like you can do it. Anything guys can do, we can do also. Or you want to make sure like you're comfortable, like it's okay. You're gonna have to experience, it's gonna be hard like going through it, but I just want to push through, like persevere, like we can do it. We can do it all. I just like with the world nowadays, I just want to say it's important. It's gonna be like uncomfortable in situations, and I don't know, like I haven't dealt with anything personally, but I just want to reach out to everyone and say that you can do it. It may not seem like a career you want to do now, but as you go like throughout college, it's okay if you decide to like steer in a different direction. That's happened a lot. You're going to change majors. Maybe you take classes that you're not going to like. You might go through things that you want to reach out and help people, because that's like the one thing I want to do, is I want to be able to help other people and like reach out to them.
Hi guys, my name is Alyssa Schumann. I'm a biomedical engineering senior here at Grand Canyon University, and we're standing in the manufacturing shop here on campus. I'm just going to show you real quickly a few of the different machinery that we would use in here. Right here, we've got the drill press. I'm not going to be demonstrating this one, but this is for anything where you need like precise holes and accurate spacing and all that kind of thing. That's what we use this for. Right here, we have the belt sander. This is a vertical belt sander. So what you do is, if you were going to use this, you would be wearing, usually you have to wear a weld jacket and weld gloves for this. You would just come over here, the on switch would be right here, and you would bring your piece up like this. Then over here is our big MIG welder. This you have to have the gas on for. This can do really thick pieces of steel. We've got another grinder right here. Over here is the TIG welder. Now that's for very fine, meticulous kinds of welding, and you can weld aluminum on that. You cannot weld aluminum over here. It's poison gas is the bad thing that will happen from that. If we come over here, this is one of the most expensive machinery pieces that we have in here. This is our plasma cutter. It's computer guided. You would submit your part like to it, and you'd have your piece of sheet steel in here, and it'll cut it very, very quickly and very, very meticulously. We're not going to do anything with this today, but you can do all kinds of things on that. In the past, we've done Christmas ornaments on this. So then if we come back over here, this is for those sparks. I've had slag hit my glove and like melt through the glove before.
So I think you have a face shield of plastic.
Yeah, so this is a shield. The face shield will it will stay clear until you start welding, and then it shifts. So it'll shift so it blocks the light from damaging your eyes, because otherwise you could go blind. That's another reason for this. So if anyone's walking by the shop at the time when somebody's welding, they're not gonna, suddenly be blind. Yeah, okay, so I'm just setting up the welder, getting ready to go. In terms of what I'm wearing is proper safety gear for every time you weld in the shop. You're gonna have to wear safety glasses. That's an extra layer of safety on top of the shield, just in case something was to, like a piece of slag was to get through your shield, like come through the side. This is just to keep your eyes safe. I've got the welder set. I'm not gonna go through all the steps of setting the welder, but you have to turn on the gas ahead of time. Okay, so you always want to make sure that the gas is on before you start. This type of welder will still work, provided that the gas is not on, but it will not be a clean product. The gas is there to prevent oxidation from happening on the metal, and what that does is it's basically like rapid rusting, and it will prevent the weld from sticking. So that's why you really need to have the gas on. Now this is a ground lead, and this is important that you always are grounded, because this is an electrical device, and if it's not grounded when you're working, you could be the ground, and what would happen in that case is I would rapidly get electrocuted, and that would just not be a good thing. So what I'm doing right now is I'm bringing the wire cutters over with me, and it's important, if you can see right here, the end of the wire has already gone through the chemical reaction. So it's gonna pop if I were to start welding right with that right now. So I have to snip it off. And now I have a clean end to start with. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this shield down. What this shield does is you can see through it normally until you should start to weld. And at that point, the filter starts on the shield that prevents you from being blinded. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and put that down. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start welding now. All right, what I just did, I didn't go through proper setting procedure beforehand. So what ended up happening is the weld is really jagged and irregular, and that's just because I didn't go through and set the settings ahead of time. I just wanted to demonstrate what was going to happen. It's jagged and irregular because the feed speed on the wire and the voltage level on the welder itself was not quite right for this type of steel, but I just wanted to demonstrate what the process looks like. When you finish up welding, we always have to leave the workspace as clean as we found it. So what I am going to be doing is I'm going to be coiling back up the cabling and turning off the gas. And what that's to do is to guarantee that an accident doesn't happen in here. It's also important to note that when you're welding in anywhere, that the room that you're doing it in be well ventilated, because there are fumes that come off, and we have ventilation set up perfectly here for welding. You might be able to hear it, I don't know. But that's just to ensure that there's not any fumes that give off to hurt you in the process. This is our finishing shop, and in here you can process a lot of sheet steel. That's usually what we use this space for. I don't think I mentioned it earlier, but I am also the president of the Society of Engineers here on campus. And what we do a lot of outreach projects, as well as a lot of metal working projects, just to get a good grasp of how to use the equipment. And one of the things we often need is we need to break down sheet steel quickly. Now these are small pieces, but if we had a large piece, we would come over to this piece of equipment here, And this is like a giant pair of scissors for metal. And what you can do is you can break down a really big sheet of steel really fast to use it for whatever you need. And this is a stomp shear. So what you would do is you would come up here and you have to step down really hard on it. And what that does is it'll cut through the big old sheet of steel. But I don't have a big sheet of steel right now, so I can't do that. This is the Beverly shear, and what this does is it uses a really big counterbalance to cut down metal. We use this when we need to cut more precisely. That's for big pieces that we need to break down quickly. This is for little pieces that we just want to cut quickly. So I'm going to use it real quick, and it kind of just snips through the metal really quickly. And when we use this, we use it for various different things. One of our projects that we've done lately is we've made steel roses, and what we would use this for is to cut the petals. And then this is a guard so that this doesn't accidentally fall. If we come over here, what this is for, this is to bend angles into sheet steel really precisely. Either side of it are arms, and usually you'll use 2 people at a time, and it'll bring the whole, it comes up like this, and this will lift, and it will bend really precisely. Right here, we have, this is, if we didn't use the drill press in the other room to drill a hole, we might use this. It's a hole punch, kind of like a hole punch for paper, but this is a big hole punch. So you would put in the sheet of steel roughly where you would want it. And if you come look right here, you've got a die on the bottom and a die on the top, a punch on the top and the die on the bottom. And they line up with each other. And you can do small holes, and you come down like that, and you have your hole. Now, if I wanted a different size, which we often do, we come over here and we would move it up like that, and that's decay. So then you got to also move the top. Right to there, and then I would just put it back in like this, bring this down like that, and now we got a really, really big hole. So we use this a lot. So if we were using this to, if we were to use this to make steel roses, we use this to cut the center point out so that we can weld it on to a central rod to make the stem. Over here is a really, really precise piece of equipment. It's really, really delicate. We never personally use this. It's a laser cutter, basically, so it's a really precise machining tool. And right here is where you would solder any pieces of electrical equipment you might have. We don't often use this, but that's what you would use it for. We have other areas in the campus that we use for soldering, but that's if you needed it in the shop. This is our isolated paint booth. So we would turn on the vent fan in here, make sure that we're always using all of the equipment inside there, and have the vents on to vent any paint fumes. And then this right here is our another piece of equipment that's really, really delicate. This is also a really precise cutting tool. You can etch on this, so if we were going to engrave a piece of metal, we would use this. You can also cut like plastic really, really quickly on this. And that's kind of just a general tour of this space and how we would use it. Some other miscellaneous stuff we've got laying around is an anvil, and we would use this if we need to shape metal really quickly with a hammer. This is a roller, and It's to make a really precise angle or a really precise ridge inside a piece of metal. And that's kind of a general tour of our shops, our metal shops here, and what we would generally use them for. Once again, I'm Alyssa Schumann, and thanks.